All right, let's go, let's go, let's go. How are we doing on this cold? It's cold again. Yeah, it got cold again. It's 36 degrees. We had a little bit of flurries earlier and back-to-back late games. But it's not so bad. At least they're not like 10 and 10:30, right? The 9:30 games, they're not so bad. Let's fix this camera. Let's get this camera a little bit right. There we go. Now I'm a little bit more in the picture. So, what we have going on last night? It was only, I think, 4 games. So yeah, the Blackhawks shut out the Rangers. The Wings beat the Flames. They almost blew that game. Panthers beat the Mammoth, obviously, and the Kings, or excuse me, the Kraken beat the Kings in overtime. Tonight, what's that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 games tonight. Boy. Caps, Hurricanes, Lightning, Devils, Senators, Jackets, Golden Knights, and the Flyers, Sharks and the Leafs, Canadians, Penguins, Ducks, Islanders, Bruins, Jets, Blues, Preds, Stars, Wild, and of course, Panthers, Avs, and then the Wings play the Oilers, and the Sabres play the Canucks. So games spread out all over the place, although most of those other ones were 7 o'clock games. And okay, so we've got the Wings in first place again. I mean, you go from first place to fifth place around here on a daily basis. They've won 3 straight. Lightning in second with 36 points. The Bruins hanging out at 36 points. Canadians 33, Panthers and Leafs at 32. The Sens have lost 3 straight at 30. And the Sabres in their familiar place in last place. Although last year was the Bruins in last place. And the Metro is almost tighter, I think, now. Yeah, the Metro is tighter than the Atlantic at this point. Caps in first place with 39 points. And the Jackets in last place with 32. So how's everybody doing? Let's see. Shines, Bubba on the breakaways. Well, I mean, my hope for breakaways is 50%. In fact, I wonder if there's an easy answer on that. Let's see. What is the average save percentage in the NHL on clear breakaways? Let's see if there's an actual stat that we can get with that. The shooting percentage on average is about 30 to 35% on breakaways. So that's interesting. Forzanek led on the ice for breakaway time, bench Sabrango. Well, Sabrango's managed to play himself right out of the lineup, right? Huh? Mike, how we doing? The dude says if they want to rotate those 3 D-men, I'm fine with it. It's not like any of them have looked egregiously bad these few games. No, pretty much agree. I think Petrie had a bad couple of games, and Maurice maybe just sat him to rest his legs. He's not young, Hey, Derek, how you doing, bud? Simon, how you doing? Yeah, Lundell's goal was fantastic. Good morning, JC. If you watch that goal from Lundell, it's he wins the draw, and then he just goes right to the net, and he's just in the right perfect position. Once Reinhardt gets the puck to Luosterainen, I still have watched it a couple of times. It's hard to tell if the puck just goes off Luosterainen right to Lundell, or if it was actually purposefully deflected to Lundell. I watched it a couple of times. Mike says, tonight the Avalanche will be put in the camel clutch. Break back, make humble. It's going to be, IDK wants to know, is going to be 10-2 Avs or 10-3. You talking about shots in the first period, IDK? We're going to win tonight. JC says, what will be the first line when Chucky gets back? We can't split up. I actually put out a short And in last night's recap, I talked about it. I put out a short this morning with that exact situation. I don't think the top two lines change. I think you just move Greer down and you go with Rodriguez, Tkachuk, and Samoskevich. You just pretend it's Bennett. You're not going to. I don't think Maurice, if we're playing like this, is going to blow up all three lines just because Chucky came back. Because if you did, then you'd go Bennett, Tkachuk, Samoskevich. You're still going to have Lundell, Luosterainen. Who exactly? Reinhart or Marchand, right? And then you'd have Rodriguez with either Reinhart or Marchand and Verhaeghe. So I think that the top two lines stay the same, and you just plug Tkachuk in where Greer has been with Rodriguez and Samoskevich and go from there. Oh, tonight's game is on ESPN. Thank you, Colin. Hungry says we need a couple of teams to go on some extended runs on the East, create some separation. Yeah, just hopefully we're one of those teams. Yeah, Craig, I agree with you. Bob makes up for it with his other stops. I mean, I don't know. We don't watch every other goalie, so other than like Vasilevsky, I know is pretty damn good on breakaways. Kind of feels like Bobrovsky is about at least average in that department. He stopped Marchand in game 5. So to me, even though you'd like to see saves like last night, I would have liked to see one of the two get saved. It still can't really be the goalie's fault at that point, though it gets frustrating. Real, yeah, just put Chucky in Greer's spot. Yeah, especially in the beginning when Chucky, you don't know what his conditioning is going to be, right? IDK says the Avs are going to spank us for sure. I just jinxed us for saying we're going to win. I don't know. I said we were going to win 14 in a row. We won 3 in a row since then, so we'll see what happens. IDK. Colin says, I'd be interested to see who's in net for the absence. Wedgwood is listed as day-to-day. Oh, I didn't realize that. Good question. So let's see who they got. Let's see who they got. Who's their goalie? Who's the other goalies? Oh, come on now. I'm looking here. Oh, isn't Mackenzie Blackwood, right? The other Wood. Yeah, they got plenty of wood. Colorado's got plenty of wood. Yeah. He's got a 2.21 and a 9.20. So I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be fine. Hey, David, how you doing? Rank says 3 wins in a row. Still feeling like we got to play catch up. Trade everyone and sell the team. Well, they're waiting to sell the team for me to be able to buy the team. Real says some of y'all make me sound positive. Yeah, Blackwood's who they put out the other. Yeah, they got lots of wood. Exactly, Hungry. I've cracked that joke before, but I always forget that Colorado's got Wedgwood and Blackwood. Great White says, imagine how great this team could be if Bob could stop giving up the first 2 goals every game. Bob needs to give up that habit. We'll be all right. Hey, look, you watched last night's recap. In the pregame, I looked at Bob. I said, that's the maximum. I said, 3 max, Bubba. That's it. And he listened. At least Bubba listens. Maurice doesn't really listen. David says, the game is nationally televised, so either I hit the pub or watch with you. I don't think I'm into peopling today, so I guess I'll see you tonight. Colby says the Avs only lost twice at home, both in the shootout during October. That glory streak ends tonight. I hope you're all right, Colby. Dude. Yeah, and that's true. Yeah, Dave says we're going to beat the Avs with Tarasov and net for number 414. Can I buy the what using EBT, JC? Talk to your phone screwed you on your joke. Shine says, caught episode 1 of the Road to the Winter Classic. Not sure what I was expecting, but so far it's pretty boring. Why is episode 4 like an hour before the actual game? Huh. Dude says, Lundell's going to need to channel more of Barkov to shut down McKinnon. Yeah, even Barkov has had issues with McKinnon in the past. Just make sure Petrie and Belinskas are not on the ice when McKinnon's out there. The team. Okay. So can I buy the team using EBT? I don't know. These days, you never know, JC. You never know. No, it's actually I'm going to buy the team with the firm, JC. That's actually how I'm going to buy the team, and we'll just make sure that I can make the monthly payment. Hungry, I'm not sure where that is. Where is the winter? Where's the whole episodes? The Road to the Winter Classic. Colby thinks the Avs are severely overrated. Well, we'll find out. I mean, there's always a team or two that starts off like a bad hell. Not like this. Colby says Blackwood, Wedgwood don't scare me still. Yeah, exactly, JC. Just 6 easy payments. Well, I have good credit with a firm, so I can get the 2-year payment plan. I can get the 2-year payment plan. Oh, it's on TNT Shines? All right. Real says, how about all of us down here in South Florida camp out in the arena until they sell the team to Jaws? The team I need to buy are the Dolphins. I think the Panthers are in good hands. Yeah, we saw what Blackwood did against Dallas in the postseason. Yeah, but postseasons, Simon says, what's my favorite player so far in the team this year? Rodriguez has really stepped up. And I mean, I know Lundell has too, but in my opinion, Rodriguez has really played out of his mind. And I think he's on a pace for like way career high. His career high in goals is 19, and he's on pace for almost probably more than that. He might be on pace for like maybe 22 goals right now. Of course, pace is a whole separate thing, but he's been impressive. Like in his shot percentage as well. Like talk about a guy who's clutched up. In his career, his average shot percentage is 8%, but this year he's at 13.3. So he's really come through for us, which, is going to be a wild decision to be made come playoff time. Because even if Maurice feels like Rodriguez would be the better player over Samoskevich, we don't have the money. So that is just going to be one hell of an interesting time. Real says, I don't care how bad the Avs beat us tonight. I still think they collapse in the first or second round. Boy, it's super windy out there. Colby says Dolphins will pull a 2019 Blues. Oh, that's a bit rich for my blood, Colby. I mean, the Miracles, even if they win all their games, for them to get in, like it's dicey for them. It's really, really dicey. and then they'd be on the road at like Denver and New England, and I don't know, man. If they had a good quarterback, maybe. But they have been good since they fired Greer, yeah. Greywhite says, Josh, you know better than he knows himself. Maurice needs to make you assistant coach. But would I move back to Florida for the right amount of money? Yes. To put that in no uncertain terms, for the right amount of money, yes. But that's a decent sized amount of money. I wouldn't move there for a $19 an hour job. You know what I mean? The only way I would move back to Florida is if I knew, like, I'm not going to say money wouldn't be an object because that would be stupid, but I would have to pretty much know that I was going to be able to get the house I need. And you know, if I'm going to financially struggle, I'll do it here in the middle of nowhere with the river 1,000 yards away. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not moving to Florida to financially struggle, because then you're just sad and lonely. Real says Greer has stepped up the most when you consider what you would expect of him. Yeah, he gave us some what do you call that? He gave us some flashes last year, being able to move up into the top 9 a little bit. Kenneth says, don't let anyone from the Olympics build the Winter Classic rink, but then again, it might be ideal for rats. Yeah, Tarasov's a good goalie. We might have something with him. David says, I did tell y'all when Landeskog came back, Avs would be formidable. He's their Messier. Bill says, I think Maurice put Lundell and Reinhart together for a shutdown line. Exactly. It's working out. It's working out beautifully, because I think we at this point can realize Marchand just ends up having chemistry with everybody. Like, that dude, when you play as hard and smart as Marchand does, you have chemistry with everybody. So Bennett, Marchand, Verhaeghe, as long as they're playing well, no reason to break that up. And look, we just got off of a month where Rodriguez was at 1C. So if it does end up being Rodriguez with Tkachuk and Samoskevich, is it really a third line? You know what I mean? Like, you know, we've got a good team. We've got good players. And so I think that's the way it would lay out. But then you still end up with other things, right? Because we could play the rest of the season. This is another thing to consider I hadn't even thought about, really. But we can play the rest of the season. Lundell, Luosterainen, Reinhart, Bennett with Marchand and Verhaeghe, and then Rodriguez and Tkachuk and Samoskevich. But then when Barkov comes back in the playoffs, what are you doing? What are you doing? Because you're going to have to blow up at least 2 of those lines, because you're not putting Barkov at 3C. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe for a couple of games to get him back into shape, you would just put Barkov in Rodriguez's spot. You follow what I'm saying? Like, it's an interesting predicament. Of course, you want Barkov back, but we could end up in a situation where, you know, normally it would be Barkov, Reinhart, Verhaeghe, and that would be blowing up 3 lines. So good problem to have, and these guys have all played together before, but it will be interesting to see how the chemistry of the team is, and then how it shakes out when Barkov comes back. Colby says to win over 100K if the Dolphins win the Super Bowl. Well, that would explain your positive energy about it, right? That's some hopium right there. I mean, hey, you know, I think it's 5,000 to 1 though, Hungary. Like 5,000 to 1, you know, if you it's a million to 1 shot. You know what I mean? Well, I think 5,000 to 1 is actually just make the playoffs. Oh, yeah, the defensive player of the week for first time in a while, huh? Yeah, Tampa Bay's been holding their own with Johansson. Johansson has grown from laughable to serviceable. I think he's never going to be Vasilevsky, but he's not as awful as he was before. Colby says you'd love the Maryland countryside. Honestly, I mean, I love it here, except for the two. What I really need to do is find a way to be able to be in Florida for January and February. And so the two coldest months of the year, I'm in Florida, but I still have this house, but I don't have to pay the crazy heat bill, but still be able to work from Florida for those 2 months. Like, that's realistically probably my best case scenario, because when it gets cold like this, my body just, it ain't going to get any better as I get older. That Real says, hey, we got rivers, they just alligators and pollution in them, right? Colin says, I have a feeling since the last couple of games versus the Abs have been high scoring that tonight's game will be a defensive battle. I'll agree, Colby. Yeah, they've got more cups in them. They should have. Real says Bennett and Verhaeghe remembering they're good has been helpful. That's true. That's true. Hungry in the playoffs, Erod would have to be a healthy scratch. If everybody's healthy, Rodriguez would have to be a healthy scratch in the playoffs, unless you're scratching somebody else that makes $3 million. David says, I think it's basically 4 new lines with all the injuries. It's taken this long to gel. When Chucky returns, we should make a new third and fourth lines as we drop off more this year. Yeah. Well, like I said, when Chucky, my opinion is when Chucky returns, you just leave Rodriguez and Samoskevich there, put Tkachuk there, and get Greer back in the fourth line, so the fourth line improves. Yeah, exactly, David. It's almost like putting Chucky to be able to play against their third or fourth line is like the advantage we would have normally with Lundell there. It's a good point. I hadn't thought of it that way. Kenneth says the 2019 Blues may never happen again, but it's the new barometer for, so you're telling me there's a chance. All joking aside with the Dolphins, if they actually can win in Pittsburgh on a Monday night when it's going to be in the teens and maybe snowing and windy, if they can pull that off, I'll at least have some kind of hope for the future. Not that I don't, but honestly, the way the Dolphins are playing these days, the weak spot is quarterback. If we had a good quarterback, we might not have ended up in this position. What do you think about the Eastern Conference surprises, Simon? Same thing, being the Wings being in first place. The Bruins being this good right now isn't so much of a surprise because this is where they were last year. It's a good time to look back now here. What are we, December 11th? I like looking back at this site. So December 11th last year. So Boston had 33 points. Now they got 36 points. So they're about where they were. Florida had 38 points. Now we have 32. So we're 3 games off. Tampa last year was at 30. Now they're at 36. I'm trying to see if there's anybody wildly. Well, the Canadians are better. The Senators are much better. Last year at this point, Montreal had 25. Ottawa had 28. Everybody's about where they were points-wise last year, within reason. Except, Toronto had 36, and they've got 32. It's just everybody's kind of crammed in. But last year at this point, Montreal was in last place with 25 points, and they made the playoffs. But they got goalie issues right now. Prediction for tonight's Falcons-Bucks game. I haven't done the pick. I haven't done the pick yet, but I'm sure I don't know. Tampa hasn't been playing all that well, and the Falcons. Dave says, stop. Just please stop with the Fins this year. I mean, it's already a done deal, David. Unless, even if as long as they win 2 of the next 4, McDaniel's coming back. Whether or not we like it or think it should happen or not. What are they? If they finish at this point 8-9 after being 1-6, McDaniel's coming back. At least he finally learned to run the ball. Silva says the Panthers pulling it together so Dolphins collapse incoming. Yeah, exactly, real. But if the Patriots already have the conference sewn up, it might be. So JC would say line 1, Erod with Reinhardt and Samiskevich. Then Bennett with Chucky and Swaggy. No. JC, man, what are you smoking? What are you smoking? You're going to put Rodriguez and Samiskevich on the top line and Lundell, Lusterine, and Marchand on the third line? Send me some of what you got because it's good stuff. Huh? And so you're going to break up all 3 lines and put Erod at 1C. There's a reason why they moved Erod off of 1C and put Lundell back up there. Boquist at 4C. JC, JC's trying to trigger me now. I think JC's just trying to trigger me. He must be trolling. Vincent says, how about the Panthers get all new playoff rivals this year? Detroit, Islanders, Pittsburgh, and LA. Is that even possible? How could that be possible? That we wouldn't be able to. We got to have 2 in the division, though, Vincent. If it depends on where we finish. No. Well, no, it wouldn't. We'd go through. We can't have that. That can't be. It would have to be Detroit, another Atlantic team, and then Islanders or Pittsburgh. So who have we not? It could be Ottawa. It could be Montreal, right? Like it could be Detroit, Ottawa, or Montreal, and then one of the other teams. Who was Bob's mentor? That's a good question. I have to check. We'll have to see who was the goalie when he was in Columbus. Who was the goalie when he first got there? Well, remember, originally he was with the Flyers for those first 2 seasons. So really, who was the goalie? Let me see. 2011, 12 Flyers. That's the question. Who was the goalie that was on the Flyers those first 2 seasons? That would be, where's the goalie? Here we go. Ilya Bryzgalov. Is that the only other goalie I see in the roster there? Yeah. That's the only other goalie I see on the roster for that team that year. Wait a minute. Let's see. Where the hell's the goalie stats? Yeah, Bryzgalov. If that's how you pronounce it. David's talking Dolphins saying, okay, let's say everything falls perfect and we win out and somehow make the playoffs. We aren't, but okay, who are we going to beat in the wild card? Oh, we go right to Denver and win that game, David. Hey, I'm not the one to place the bet. David says, as long as Tua and McDaniels are here, we're not winning a Super Bowl. I'll agree on the Tua thing. I'm still mixed on McDaniels. He does some stupid stuff. He really does. But damn it, I like the dude. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Tannehill. McDaniel kind of reminds me of Tannehill. It's like he does some stupid things, but you want him to do well. You know what I mean? Yeah, last year the Sharks had 52 points all year, already at 31. Good find, Kenneth. JC, it worked on the simulated season in NHL. So David says, on a completely different note, it seems the Michigan coach was banging a staffer, then got caught and fired, then went and beat someone up so bad he's still locked up. Jeez. So what did he do? Did he go beat up the person that ratted him out for the affair? JC says Bob's mentor was the Hamburglar. Vincent says that the Panthers finished 2-3 in the wild card Metro teams. When could that happen? Well, no, because I see what you're saying. If we finish in the second or third place when the wild cards are the Metro, yeah, I see what you're saying, Vincent. I suppose that is. Well, if we finished in second, no. Because if we finished in second place, we would play who's in third place. So let's say that was Detroit. And then we would still be in the. No, I guess it's maybe possible depending on the seeding and who won the matchups. I think it might be possible, Vincent. I think you might be right. Because if we're the 2 seed, we beat the 3 seed, but one loses, then we're going to be the highest seed left, and then maybe we would get that one of the wild card teams from the Metro that would win. Maybe. It gets confusing. But you might be right. Jameson says Brizgalov taught Bob about the universe. Mike says McDaniel reminds me of the blonde girl on Three's Company. Was that Suzanne Summers? Was that her? Or am I not wrong? Am I not right there? McDaniels look high on pills like every interview, right? Real says, sorry, Dawes, he's not a good coach in the last 2 years. He didn't get the team to play well until the season was half over. Also, it took 4 years for him to realize he shouldn't let Tua throw the ball. I agree with you there. The person who ratted him out for the affair was the person he had the affair with. Oh, man. Jeez. That's bad. Boy, his life is over. Yeah, Suzanne Summers. Yep, David. Who was the greatest Philly goalie? Maybe Hextall. That's a tough question. Let's see. I mean, probably Hextall. Well, how long did Beezer play for them, though? I mean, are we talking about while he was with the team? What about Reggett? What was Reggett's numbers? But probably Hextall. Frozen Duckling says Panthers finally getting some points. Now they have to play the Avalanche in altitude. Hopefully they steal a point or something and get it to overtime. Yeah, I think you're right, Mike. I think Chrissy on Three's Company. Right? Chrissy Snow. Yeah, Suzanne Summers. Yep. Chrissy. I remember that because in Jaws, the blonde girl that goes and swims and gets eaten by the shark, when they ask, "What's your name?" she's like, "Chrissy." So I remember that. Cats and Rats says Bernie Parent. Now that's a name. Yeah, you might be right. Yeah, he was with them and then left for Toronto and then came back. Yeah, good name. Yeah, and especially longevity wise, probably a good caller. I wouldn't have thought that's old school, but that's a good name. Yep, I'll agree there. Dave says Summers, Bach, and Jacqueline Smith, probably your top 3 hottest women of the 70s and 80s. I don't know. Who was the one that played on the Dukes of Hazzard? David? Duckling, yeah. Kyle had Hertzen. Yep. Yeah, it's a good point. We just played in Utah, so we're somewhat acclimated to the altitude. That's a good point. Who are we talking about here? Let's see. Who's this Goldberg? Where's Jameson? Best goalie from Philly is easily Goldberg. Who's that? I'm looking it up to see because I don't recognize the name. It's something about some avid Philadelphia Flyers sports fan. Is that, or was it a real person? Was it a real person? I hadn't seen that before. Thomas, I think not Wedgwood, Blackwood. I think Wedgwood's day to day with an injury, so I guess it'll be Blackwood tonight. Thank you, Great White. Beezer played the 5 seasons from 93 to 98. Yeah, Farrah Fawcett, that's a good name. Vincent says, girl was eaten by the shark. Why laugh about it when she said her name, how she said her name? But it's the guy we feel for really. He almost scored that night. That's a good point. Yeah, man. But then again, good thing he didn't get in the water with her. Right? Good thing he didn't get in the water with her. Catherine Bach was Daisy Duke. Well, then there you go, David. There you go. That makes sense. Now, when was Three's Company? Because I wonder if they got the idea for March 1977. That's interesting. And Jaws was released in 1975. So did they get the idea? Did they get the character's name from Chrissy from Jaws? That'd be something I'd love to know the answer to. Oh, Kyle's actually awakened in the shower. That's good. It's good because we have a meeting with a possible sponsor in a couple of hours. It's good that he's going to be awake. Maybe by the point in time at some point next week, I told you guys we're going to be working with that company Sparks. It's a website, and we're going to be able to have like trivia during the intermission segments and all sorts of other things that we're going to be able to do with them. So we're meeting with them today to get it together to figure out how we're going to do it. They're going to show us how to work the system. So maybe by next week, maybe not Monday night's game, because that's going to be a barrel of fun streaming both games. Oh, which by the way, Sunday the 20th, we got another double day since the Dolphin game was moved from Sunday night to 1 o'clock on the 20th. And the Panthers play, I believe, at 5. I think we have the same thing again, Sunday the 20th at 6. So we got another long day there. The Dolphins play at 1, and then the Panthers play at 6. So we'll have another long day then. Kenneth says, Goldberg claimed to be from Philly. Oh, from the Mighty Ducks movie. Okay. Gotcha. Hey, scientist. Yeah, Daddy Swaggy stays hot. Can you believe it? Yeah, I'm telling you. Now, all that's missing is for them to have an interview with Verhaeghe, for somebody to ask him why he thinks he struggled so much, and for him to say, well, the stress of making babies. That's all that's left. The dude obviously is feeling some kind of pressure off of him, that's for sure. But now, of course, Sam Miskevich has Verhaeghe-itis. He's playing well, but the puck won't go in. Like, it just won't go in for the dude. He needs an empty netter. We need to have like a nice 2-goal lead on somebody so that Maurice can throw Sam Miskevich out there when they got their goalie pulled. He needs an empty netter to get him going, or a puck to bounce off of his arm or something. He needs a greasy goal, because at this point he's around the net. He's taking shots. What's his God, I can't imagine what Sam Miskevich's shot percentage is right now, because he's shooting the puck. His shot percentage right now, and at least he's got assists. Like, he's still playing at a half a point a game pace. But his shot percentage right now is at 4.6. That's about how bad it got for Verhaeghe. And then he finally started scoring. So he'll get there. And look at it this way. He's taken a lot of shots. Last year, Sam Miskevich in the 72 games took 129 shots. And he's got 65 shots in the 29 games right now. So he's way, way over his pace in terms of how many shots per game he's taken. And his shot percentage is showing it. It's just, it's a shame, but he'll be all right. Maybe get him on the power play more. I know yesterday he had a couple of chances. He's only got 3 goals, 2 of them on the power play. So he'll be okay. He's playing good hockey. You know what I mean? It's not like the poor kid is trying to be as physical as he can. He reminds me of Tkachuk in the sense that he's playing maybe a little bit bigger than he actually is, which is good. David says, not to sound old, but WTF happened to TV. No more funny shows like Taxi and Cheers and WKRP. No deep comedy like MASH or All in the Family. That you answered the question with what I was going to say. I think those in charge are so scared to offend, they won't take the risks. Sure. I mean, remember, can you imagine now, David, Sanford and Son? Can you imagine Sanford and Son on TV right now? And like you said, All in the Family and everything. Yeah, I think they're just afraid to offend, and yeah, I think you're dead on there. David. Real says, Josh, you sound like a man who desperately doesn't want to trade for Crosby. I've got no interest in any trades whatsoever, except and unless we were somehow going to be able to bring Gabranson in to replace Petrie, but we don't have the money for it, and that's the problem. Just give me our 12 guys, give me our 12 skaters. Come playoff time, Rodriguez is the first guy off the bench, unfortunately. And if we could just somehow upgrade over Petrie and Balinskis to pair next to Kulikov, as long as Nosek can come back and be like himself, I wouldn't mind another 4C option. Again, this is where the money is a problem, because you would think Rodriguez would be that 4C option, but we can't pay him to be. It's a mess. So we'll have to see. But no, in terms of people wanting Hughes and Crosby and all these, I want our 12 guys. I want our guys on the ice. Ray Weiss says, when's the Flying Panthers app coming out? Links to unseen videos and questionable content. Well, right now, all the unseen videos and questionable content is in the members section. I'm getting ready to make another year members only. I know I made the first 2 years. It might be like the first 2.5 years. I got to do something to try to trigger the algorithm a little bit. David says, we're taking face-offs using the Shaq free throw model. Win them when they count. Yeah. Cats and Rats says, Parent is by far the greatest Flyers goalie of all time. 2 cups, 2 Conn Smythes, 2 Vezina, and he's in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Yeah, I would agree with you. Sure. I mean, it's old school. It's a different generation, but it still counts. No doubt. He was like Beezer side, like 5'10", $169. He was undrafted too. That's interesting. He started off in Boston, and his numbers were not good. And as soon as he got to Philadelphia, he played really well. Played a year and a half. Looks like Philly traded him to Toronto in 71. Because then he played a half a season with Toronto. Then he played with Toronto the next year. And then he went back to Philadelphia and finished up. And his numbers when he went back to Philly were insane. In 73-74, he started 73 games and had a 1.89 and a 9.32 with 12 shutouts. And he followed that up the next year by starting 68 games with a 2.04 and a 9.18 and another 12 shutouts. That's crazy. How did he get all those penalty minutes? In 73-74, in those 2 years combined, he had 40 penalty minutes. What was he doing? Was he getting in on the fights? He's got a couple of years with over 20 penalty minutes. That's wild. Oh, they're bringing back Married with Children? That's interesting. Mike says Little House on the Prairie would be offensive nowadays. Probably, right? They'd find a way. Husky Albert says, hey. Oh, my God. David says, if Sasha is not going to come back, could we get a Crosby for a playoff run? No. Because he's got term on his contract, doesn't he? He's got this year and next year. So we couldn't do it. Even if you wanted to give Cross, he would have to retire. Cross, and I think even if he retires, it would hit our cap though too. We would literally have to make the trade to get him for this year only and trade him back to Pittsburgh for the final year of his contract. Because we can't afford it next year. Hey, Kevin, game was good. It was actually fun. It was a good game, especially winning in the end like that. Vincent says, but Zito's going to trade Mackey before March comes, and we'll get a consistent big winger. That ain't happening. It's not going to happen. Yeah, Barkov's still a young guy. Would I trade Tarasov for Johansson, but I have to give up $2 million? No. No. No, Tarasov, we might need to keep around. Oh, you're not Crosby exactly, but a veteran. Technically, we could. That would be the only thing to do, David. If they knew Barkov wasn't coming back, theoretically, what you would do at that point is if you did go get another center to play at 1 or 2C, then you would just keep Rodriguez on the ice by making him 4C. You follow what I'm saying? So I suppose it's possible, but I also think that if the doctors if they get to the trade deadline and the doctors are like, there's a 90% chance that he's coming back. Like, I think the doctors would have to say he's not coming back for us to make any moves. Because you'd be giving up more prospects, I guess. We don't have any picks to give up. I know some people were thinking about Riley. But didn't we look at him and see that? Does he have term? Yeah, Ryan O'Reilly has term. He's got this year and next year again. So that's one of the issues is maybe we can go get a guy, but with the cap situation, you gotta give Bobrovsky an extension first before you can go getting anybody that you know that you'd have on the team for the following year. And then where are you going to put somebody like that next year? Because when Barkov comes back, you've got so many guys. Vincent says, let's just hope it's not for Tippett. Gosh, I hope not. Dumb Name wants to know what's the solution to stop us from blowing the lead. Score late in the game. That's what I even said it when they tied it up. I said, just get the game to overtime and then just score in overtime. We don't have to hold the lead. Scoring late in the game, I think at this point, might be the only way because whatever's going on, they're not fixing it. Like, I don't even think we held that lead for 10 seconds last night. Oh, yeah, they're killing Star Trek and Marvel. I know, right? Hey, Norman, how you doing, bud? And that's the thing. I think when we looked at, like, if we look, let's go to Puckpedia. And so when you look at guys that are going to be free agents after this season, now the one name that I had gotten to before when Barkov got hurt was Nick Schmaltz, but Utah's playing well, so I don't think that that's going to be a situation. It's a short list of guys that can take that spot. Even if you were just going to go with Lundell and Bennett and try to upgrade at 3C and then put Rodriguez at 4. I mean, it might be something like that. Honestly, if Barkov wasn't going to come back, I just wonder if we'd be better off served trying to upgrade the bottom pair and beef up the fourth line a little bit. Because Lundell, Bennett, Rodriguez, I guess you could leave Rodriguez at 4C and upgrade somewhere at 3C. But there's the list of names is it's not big. Kenneth says Panarin and Lane are wingers expiring, but both could play center, I'm sure. Hold on a second. Hold on. What is that noise? Hold on. Hold on a second. What the hell's that noise? I think there's a mouse in here somewhere. That's interesting. Huh. Yeah, Panarin and Lane are wingers, but then again, would they be selling? You know what I mean? It's tough to say. Oh, hold on. What's this? Holy crap. Thank you, Great White. Thank you, brother. Much, much, much appreciated, bud. Holy crap. Flying Fluffy Panthers. Flying Fluffy. Get your own channel name right, Jaws. This is why I am the way I am. Thank you, Great White. Flying Fluffy Panthers Hockey, the best Panthers channel. I appreciate that, bud. I mean, that means a lot. Used to be the only one. You know, it's all good though. It's all good. That just means more people watching hockey videos. Thank you, Great White. Appreciate you, buddy. David says a guy retiring anyway whose team misses the playoffs might want a last shot. Come on, you're looking at Panarin. Vincent says, "Oh, the Panthers Twitter video from NHL and TNT of Tkachuk skating. Where is it on Twitter or is it on? Hold on a second. Hold on. Let's see. What's that? No, we don't want that. Where are they? Is today Tkachuk's birthday? Oh, yeah. Happy Matthew Tkachuk Day. I see. Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah, here we go. Let me share this. Let me full screen this and share it. Hold on a second. Give me a second. I'm going to share this. Hold on. Mike, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised, Mike. Okay. So here. You got that? You guys seeing that? Okay. So this is Chicken Chuck skating, I guess.
One player who'd love to get in on the fun is Matthew Tkachuk, the heart and soul of the Panthers, who is in the process of recovering from off-season surgery and hasn't yet played in a game this year.
I mean, obviously, he's still in rehab.
But just recently, he's been making some strides with an eye to getting back on the ice.
Way faster than the first
just
one.
Barely skating.
More important part is staying low.
Yeah. This has been a whole other schedule for me since surgery. My days are
he's
way
not
longer,
pushing anything, that's for sure. I mean, it's good to see him on skates. Don't get me wrong.
Especially full equipment, it's like another step, another hurdle you got to pass. So I'm happy with it. It's just no pucks yet, which sucks, but starting with the basics. Really just no rush if I'm
all right, so
back feeling really good.
That looks like there's a month away. That looks like he's a month away, right? Yeah, do not rush this man. Exactly the dude, right? Yeah, do not rush him back. That is for sure. Yeah, only one way to strengthen the muscles. Got to use them. Yep. No, he definitely looks like, and I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it looks like he's definitely not digging in yet. He's just exactly got to start super slow. He's just skating. He's just gliding and skating. That's good though. That's good. But that ain't 2 weeks away. That's for sure. That is, if that's now, of course, we don't know exactly when that video was taken, right? We don't know because it says that we got a behind the curtain look on Tkachuk's recovery on tonight's Road to Winter Classic episode. So that's not now. That's something they already filmed. So that's probably 2-3 weeks ago, at least, I would assume. So Vincent. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, it's hard because your brain remembers at full speed but can't match. The muscle is still weak. Yeah. Hey, as long as he's skating, and we're holding our own, right? Like, what are we? Only like a couple. I mean, if you looked at it from a playoff perspective, what's in? Penguins, Flyers at 35 points. Panthers at 32. So we're 3 points out of a playoff spot. So if you had told us we would be 3 points out, right? You know what I mean? If you had said we were 3 points out with Barkov and Tkachuk and everything else out, we would have taken it. Take that all day, every day. Great White says, Jaws, you're the only interactive channel that responds to comments. I can tell you that. I appreciate that. I do the best I can to get to all of them. I know sometimes there's ones that I miss. YouTube Studio is glitchy sometimes. It's supposed to show you all the comments that you've missed, but then sometimes I go to the older videos and I'm seeing comments that weren't in YouTube Studio. I do the best I can to get to them all because I appreciate it. You know, I don't take it, you know, all joking set aside. I don't take it for granted. You know, I bitch and complain about the views, but that's just my shtick. You know what I mean? Would I like to have blown up? Sure. Could it still happen? Sure. But if this is where the channel, if this is where it's landed, I'm good. I'm fine. I get a kick out of it. You know, how old am I? I'm 54. I'm 54 now. So I didn't get any younger. When I started the channel, I had hair and this was solid black. It's not so bad though. That's not too bad for 54. The salt and pepper, you know. So it's not too bad. And I didn't need glasses. When I started this channel, my eyes were 20/20. Like I could read. I go to the doctor's office and I just pop up. No, not a problem. And now I'm this close. I'm this close to where my eyes are so bad that I can leave the glasses on to watch the game and interact with the chat on my phone while we're streaming the game. I'm really, it's gotten bad this last year. I got some stuff I'm supposed to be taking that does help my eyesight a lot. My dad had the surgery. He went to the VA and he had the surgery and now he doesn't have to wear glasses anymore. It's weird because he's worn glasses my whole life. So now you see him and he's older and he doesn't have to wear the glasses. Mike says skating since November, get his ass on the ice now. Oh, Dave says absolutely stunning to me. This channel, no way, not way more popular, but kind of selfishly glad as a smaller community is way more viewer friendly. Yeah, I mean, I say it a minute. I appreciate that, David. I can't do the clickbait stuff. Now, what I would like to be able to do is I would love it if I didn't have to spend time like doing eBay and other things like that, so I could make like the longer form content videos where it's more research stuff and it's like a half hour, 45-minute video. I'd love to have more time to be able to do that stuff because that would help grow the channel. And we're getting there. We're getting there, but what I can't do is I see, and I'm not just on Panther channels. I'm talking about, this is insane and the truth revealed and all of that. And I'm like, man, if you ever catch me doing that, just unsubscribe. Unless I do it as a joke. If I do it as a spoof, which I have considered doing, like doing a one-off one of those titles and thumbnails and just as a spoof. Great White says, could be worse. It could be a Tampa Bolts channel. David says, THC known to lower pressure in the eyes, plus improving vision. Jamaican night fishermen have the world's best vision. Ain't that something? That's interesting. Mike says the beard is almost solid black. It's not too bad. Yeah. I mean, where it counts, I kind of like it. I kind of like it with it was worse. It was worse. It's a true thing that stress will do stuff to your body, because it was this isn't colored. I don't color it, but if you look back to like there was a little bit of a period of time I was coloring it and tried it. I didn't like it. But if you look back to where at the end with Fluffy and when Karen left, like I had like bright white streaks. It was getting bad for a while. Vincent says he interacts with the audience because we tell him everything and he repeats it for content. So that's not 100% true, Vincent. Huh? I need things to react to. Like, that's why people like the recaps and the streams. Like, give me the information and I'll give you an entertaining reaction. That's my strength. You know what I mean? I'm never going to be like the report the news type of guy and the trade rumors type of guy, because I'll talk myself out of the trade rumor. It's like I hear the rumors, like, well, that sounds stupid, but nobody wants to hear that. Oh, you just made it up, David. Great White. Well, at 54, I mean, most of the guys I know my age, they're white. You know what I mean? Or at least they got the white goatee. When's the next inappropriate conversations? Yeah, it'll be before Christmas. Yeah, for sure. Donna's working on getting the job, but it'll only be 4 days a week, so she'll still have some free time. Her birthday is Monday, so of course I had the Panthers and the Dolphins on that day. So I was informed this afternoon that we'll be celebrating her birthday tomorrow night, because Kyle's going to his mom's. So tomorrow night. So apparently Donna and I will be celebrating her birthday tomorrow night. So you just never know. I don't know. She might want to do a stream for her birthday. I don't know. I'm just going to do what I'm told. just going to do what I'm told. Life is good. She made dinner last night. Oh my God. I do most of the cooking, but that's because I enjoy the cooking. Mike says, I was kidding, Josh. Your beard looks like it forgot what the color black. Yeah, like some of it, the mustache is like solid, right? But then it's like my beard has gone black and white the way that I went bald, patchy. Like some areas is still thick and other areas it just disappeared. The same thing happened with the beard. It's like the mustache is like still thinks I'm 22, right? The sides know the age, but this section here, like that still thinks I'm young, and then in here it's all confused. It looks like tinsel. It looks like tinsel. Or what do the girls do? They get their hair frosted and they have like the different colored streaks. That's what the beard does. So, all right, everybody, I got to roll. I got to get ready for this meeting. I just remembered that's a 3:00 meeting. I got to get Kyle, letting him know what he's going to do. Appreciate it. Have fun hanging out with y'all. Thank you, Great White. Much appreciated. All the super chats. Game is at 9:30. The members stream will be, 8:45. So, Great White, what's the favorite meal Donna made? What she made for me last night. She said, you like breakfast for dinner? I'm like, yeah. So it was 4 over easy eggs with buttered toast, a lot of butter, and a huge pile of bacon and hash browns. And then I fell asleep. But, oh, God, it was so good. I'm going to request it again tonight. It's quick and easy. I'll eat bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches, but I'll eat that every night. I'm good with that. She's trying to put some weight on me because I look like a crackhead meth dealer. So, all right, everybody. Appreciate y'all. I'll see you tonight for another 2 points. The hell with one. Let's get 2 more points tonight.